Love, Simon is a coming-of-age story and stars Nick Robinson in the lead role. No relation. Anyway, he plays Simon, the main character, who pretty much has a great life. He has a great group of friends at school, he's not really bullied, he has a family that loves him, and as he says in the movie, he's just like you, except for the fact that he lives in a big-ass 3-story house with a room where there's a little section dedicated to his entire bed. I had to share my room with my brother growing up, so no, this guy was not like me. He's better. However, despite all of the great stuff that he has going for him, he does have one secret, and it's that he's gay. But nobody knows. He has no idea how to come out as being gay, and he ends up having an online discussion with somebody back and forth who's going through the exact same issue. Pretty much like online dating in a way, except without the actual apps. This movie came out a week ago, so chances are you people have already seen it. But if you haven't, I'm telling you to get off your ass and go see it right now. That's right, I'm jumping into my rating. Don't need to say any more. Have a good night. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I mean, okay, I'm not kidding on the rating. That's actually my rating for the movie. So let's actually discuss why I gave it the rating that I gave it. This is a coming-of-age story, sure. And we've seen a lot of good ones in the past few years. Edge of 17 from 2016 and Lady Bird from last year, both of which ended up on my best of list the year they came out. And this is another teenage coming-of-age story, but the main character is gay. This is something that I don't think I've ever seen in a mainstream studio film, because when you hear the plot of this movie, you think, oh, it's going to be an indie film, or it's going to be released under Fox Searchlight's division. No, this is 20th Century Fox, the main film division, releasing this film. And even though we are at the end of March, this right now is my favorite movie of the year. Like a lot of coming-of-age stories, it feels very grounded in reality, and all of the characters feel very real and relatable. Nick Robinson is great in this role. He is just so natural here. You believe everything that he's going through, and at points you can even relate to him. Outside of the fact that he's living in a $2 million house, anybody can relate to the struggles that he's going through. With his situation, it's trying to figure out how to come out as gay, but that could be for any situation when you were in high school. Just the basic idea of people accepting you for who you are. Like, do you try to fit in to make people like you, or do you just say, you know what, I'm going to be who I am, and if people don't like it, then fuck them. I don't need them in my life, and I'm happy being the person that I am. So that's a really good message. And everyone else in this movie feels very real and give great performances as well. Everyone in Simon's friend circle is very kind, very likable. And then his parents are played by Jennifer Garner and Josh Duhamel, who are both great as well. Every situation that the characters are put in feels natural, feels very believable. And you'll watch this going, yeah, I've been in those situations at points. Some of the situations might make you go, I remember the good old days. And some situations might make you go, I remember when I had to deal with that bullshit. Thank God I'm past that. There is one element of the movie that I downright hated, and this is something that you're actually supposed to hate about the movie. It's one of the high school kids who kind of weasels his way into Simon's life, and he does some incredibly diabolical things in this movie near the end, and he's also one of the most annoying characters I've seen in a while, but again, it's all intentional. Because I knew someone who's very much like this character, and it just made me flash back to those moments where I'm just like, yeah, get away from me, don't care about you. I don't have much else to say. I mean, I started out with my rating right off the bat. Get off your ass and go see it right now. We only have 1 year to go before we get into the new decade, but I feel like this movie right here, Love, Simon, is going to be a movie in the vein of Dazed and Confused or American Pie or Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Let me explain. Each decade seems to have a high school movie that everyone can relate to and go, yeah, I remember those days. In the 70s, there was American Graffiti. In the 80s, there was Fast Times at Ridgemont High. In the 90s, there was both American Pie and Dazed and Confused. In the last decade, we had Superbad, because in this culture that we're in right now, despite who we have as president, we are more accepting towards gay, lesbian, bi, and trans people. And this is a perfect movie for anyone in that circle to look at and completely relate to. So we'll see what happens in the next few months or the next year, but I feel like as of now, how Love, Simon is going to be that high school movie that people just look at and can relate to the same way they did with those other high school movies that I mentioned beforehand. And that's my review for Love, Simon. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave a comment down below and tell me what your thoughts are on the movie, if and when you've seen it. And as always, this is the real Mr. Robinson telling you there's only one.